Hello there. The weather should be calming down a bit now. It's going to take a while for the floodwaters to recede, but the winds have dropped. Earlier on Tuesday, we had a gust of 81 miles an hour at Exeter Airport. Then the strong winds moved into the southeast with a gust of 69 miles an hour at Heathrow Airport. But that's Storm Henk, and it's now tracking its way into Europe. It's going to bring some snow in Scandinavia, where it's very cold here. This low pressure is not a storm, but it will bring some showers. The more persistent rain has cleared away, mind you, but we have seen a lot of flooding just recently. The heaviest rain actually fell over the hills of Wales. That's fed into the river systems in the West Midlands, and a short while ago there were over 200 flood warnings on rivers in England.
But let's get on to the weather, shall we? Because it's been a big talking point over the last 24 hours. Good news today is the winds have now eased across most parts of the UK. Bad news is flooding will be ongoing. At the moment, we've got one severe flood warning, immediate danger to life on the River Nen, just to the east of Northampton. And there are well over 300 more flood warnings across England, Wales and Scotland too. So there will be further impacts from that, even though weather conditions have actually got a little bit better.
Good morning. Yesterday, Storm Henk brought a wind gust of 69 miles per hour to Heathrow Airport. Today, the storm is out towards the east of the UK. Low pressure still in charge to the north of Scotland, though, bringing some blustery, heavy showers for us, but some brighter spells mixed in there too. Now, the wind is not as strong as yesterday, but it is still fairly breezy, that southwesterly wind.
The reality of the weather in Cardiff and elsewhere at the moment has been less than favourable, has it?
Exactly, it's probably a boggy mess there at the moment, considering how much rain we've seen recently. But I do start with a little bit of slightly brighter news for today, because after all those problems some of you experienced yesterday, getting across the country today, not as windy and not as wet either. But the impacts from the rain we saw yesterday is still ongoing. Flood warnings are still creeping up at the moment across parts of England and indeed Wales, where we've got one severe flood warning in each two, one just to the east of Northampton and one by Tenby as well. What we'll notice as we go through into the weekend, slowly and surely this area of high pressure builds in. It joins forces from the south and with one developing across Scandinavia. That helps to bring in colder air across the country. Not desperately cold at this stage, but what it does mean is we will start to see a change in weather conditions, in that with high pressure building, it tends to put a cap on the atmosphere, stops those rain clouds from building up. Now, can't promise it'll be completely dry all the time, but compared to what we've had of late, from this weekend, basically through the space of a week, most of us will spend the bulk of the time dry, if not completely dry. The nights will be colder with some frost and a bit of patchy fog, but by day there will be some sunshine. And as I said, the crucial thing, especially those flood warnings around, very little rain indeed. Back to you both.
Look at that, not a drop. Not a drop on. It's been a while, hasn't it, Matt?
Just cover that one up there.
All right. Apart from, yeah. Matt, for now, thank you very much indeed.
Weather has not been worth it, though, the past few days to go out and about. It's been pretty miserable out there. Certainly been crunching the numbers myself this morning. Very good morning to you. This is the view a short while ago in Matlock in Derbyshire. You saw the flooding with Phil Mackey, of course, in Worcestershire as well. There is some sunshine ahead. There is some good news. But before we look ahead, let's quickly look back, because yesterday the Met Office released the stats for 2023, the provisional weather stats. And this chart here shows how temperatures compared to the average for the year. Wherever you see the pinks and the reds, an indication that temperatures were above normal for the whole year. And most notably, you'll see the deeper reds across Northern Ireland, parts of Wales and the southwest too. Overall, the UK saw its second warmest year on record. Warmest, of course, being 2022. But for Northern Ireland and Wales, it was the warmest on record for a second consecutive year. And also by night, the nights were particularly warm. That registered as the warmest on record as well. But of course, with the warmer years comes something usually a little bit wetter. I should also add that the Met Office have said that due to climate change, influence of the human activity, warm years like the one we saw, the chances have increased from, say, a 1 in 500 year event to a 1 in 3-year event, and we like to see more of it in the years to come. But of course, a warmer atmosphere also means a wetter one, and that was the case across the UK in 2023 as well. The notable exception was the west of Scotland. And we certainly saw the year end on a very wet note. That saturated the ground, and more rain through Christmas has meant the risk of flooding has increased. And following Storm Hank yesterday, there's plenty of flooding around this morning. Well over 300 flood warnings in force at the moment across the UK. And in England and Wales, there is one severe flood warning each, one to the east of Northampton, one around Tenby as well, meaning that there's an immediate risk of danger to life. The latest details on that on the BBC Weather website with the flood warnings. And of course, BBC Local Radio, your best port of call for impact wherever you are.
Is it going to be raining at Ali Pali outside? Will they have to take their brollies as well as their dartboard hats?
Protect from the beer, maybe. Flying beer bottles.
Actually, that would be useful. The sou'westers for that, exactly. Matt, morning again.
Morning, possibly so, but things are on the change. Maybe the silver lining to some dark clouds here in Guernsey this morning, but let me give you a quick step through what's going to happen for the rest of this week, because things are going to turn colder but also drier by the time we hit the weekend and beyond.